Good evening, keepers of the cash. Gary B, the casual comic guy here, and joining me as every Thursday, my good buddy Digger Jim. Jim, what's up, bud?
Man, I got a fresh cut. It's the weekend.
You got your J-Lo going.
Yeah, I've got my glow going. I'm going to see Naaman tomorrow, guys.
Nice.
I'm going to try to see if he'll let me shoot a little video. We're going to go out and have some lunch, do a little comic book hunting for a little bit. Should be fun.
Oh, yeah. And, of course, our guest tonight, back again with another Kickstarter. We have Brandon Ingram from Dismay Comics. Brandon, how you doing tonight, sir?
Doing good. Thank y'all for having me. It's
absolutely. As we like to do, bud, just give a quick 2 minutes of you, who you are. We'll say hi to the chat, and then we'll come back, and Jim and I will discuss your new Gallows Man issue 3 coming out, and how people can get 1 through 3 as well.
Well, thank you. So basically, I'm Brandon Ingram. I am the creator of Dismay Comics. It's my publishing line that I put out my comics through. And I've been doing this. I've been writing comics since 2019. I've been publishing comics since 2021. Have had multiple titles out, are still making those titles as well as future titles. And the big one I'm doing now is Gallows Man issue 3. We've done issue 1, issue 2. We have issue 3 now. And it's been a blast. It's been a long time coming with this issue. But it's one of those things where we wanted to get it just right. Like, one, there was life stuff between me and Helen to where we were working on this issue, but also had to manage around life stuff. But yeah, we're just happy to have this issue out. We both, me as a writer as well as her as an artist, feel we have grown steadily through this series sort of thing. It's a lot of fun.
I definitely felt that with our art in this one, but let's go say hi to the chat. We'll come back and we'll start asking you some questions. So first in, as always, James, how you doing tonight, sir? Las Cruces. It's not a live stream without him.
No.
One of my favorite people here, Joe, Anachronic Comics.
Joe.
This guy's kind of okay.
Yeah.
Miss Christina Payne, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. All right, and Rich, how you doing tonight, sir? Another one of my all-time favorite people right there, Jerry the Jitterbug.
Jerry.
All right, and get the scrolling going here. We have Pocan Joe Comic Review. How you doing, Joe? Guys, if you're not following Pocan Joe, you're doing yourself a disservice.
No
Make
lie.
Sure you're following him.
Especially on Instagram.
Comics for kids, you can skip. It's not that big a deal. I wouldn't worry about it.
Hard pass.
No. Look for John to be on my channel tomorrow night when we are doing a stream on kindness as I take shots at my buddy here.
Yeah. Do you sure you're the right guy?
Mr. DVH, Dr. Von Hoots. Also great. Please go sub him up. Watch his Wrestle Crate every month. Watch his unboxings. Big horror fan. If you like horror, you'll love DVH's channel. A lot of great stuff to see over there. And you got Pocan Joe saying Gallows Man is a great read. Very funny.
Thank you, Pocan.
And we have Mr. Tate Prime. Good evening, Tate. Nice to see you. You guys were streaming last night. I was watching, but I couldn't talk. I was at work. And did he swoon?
John is big time now. He had that video he put on IG.
I know. You could feel the ego coming through the video.
Straight up, yes, absolutely. I was like, look at all that money.
But it's not about John tonight, Jim.
No, it isn't.
It's not. Tonight we're here to talk Gallows Man 3. So again, you got the Kickstarter already funded. I got it set. We'll pull it up when it's time. So congratulations on funding it in your first 40 hours. Great job.
Thank you.
So, I read the issue again before coming on just so it would be fresh. And I was trying to describe it to myself in the perfect way. And it's very much, like 66 Batman-esque in its delivery and humor, but it's also kind of hints of like a Seth Rogen style comedy where there's some brutal violence in it too, out of nowhere sometimes. So it's a good mixture of the camp and the violence, and this issue kind of felt like an ode to the monologue of supervillains, which was funny.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you. Yeah.
so was that kind of your approach for this issue, just to focus on the villain and the model and their need for people to know who they are and have their egos fed?
I heard a little bit of that. My earphone is cutting out because it's being weird, but I just adjusted it. Yeah, like if you're talking about Major Swastika,
Yes.
he's a very over the top villain. People can see through the preview pages on the Kickstarter page. Like you can see the preview page. This guy's like he's wearing like swastika mask and all this stuff. He's an over the top Nazi villain, very much like the best way to put it is just over the top. Yeah. And he also has a Elmer Fudd speech impediment.
Oh yes. God.
I was going to bring that up, but
yeah. And so, and you definitely see it. You see it in the other issues that he's in, but he's in this one the most. You see him a lot in issue 3, specifically the first half of it, sort of thing. And like you said, Gary, like this ultimately is that beginning part, that the villain monologue, well, let me tell you my plan sort of thing.
Yeah.
While I have you tied up. It's not like you're going to escape or anything, but let me tell you my plan before I kill you or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, because they need that ego fed, right? Like, look how brilliant I am. Please acknowledge my brilliance.
A genius, right.
And just the befuddlement too, like, you know, he's so concerned with how he's viewed, but he also has underlings around him that aren't the best and brightest, and he doesn't give the best instructions either. So you have a brutal death, but a wrong death, and with a wrong person, which is kind of a hilarious. But you know, I forgot from reading the first 2 how violent it got sometimes, and then I was like, oh yeah, and I was right back into it. But that, like, it goes almost from that caricature like comedy to straight shock violence and right back into comedy again immediately. Like it's like little staccato beats of it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, for people that have read issue 1 or issue 2 and you haven't read issue 3, Gary's seen issue 3, he's read issue 3. It has the same flow of issue 1 and 2, where like issue 1, if you're reading it the first time, like the first 15 pages or so are like, this is like a funny kind of dumb, like Adam West sort of thing. But then a big event happens. It's like, holy crap. Like it's like, whoa. Like that came out of, it feels nowhere. Like that came out of nowhere sort of thing. Because like the Gallows Man, for people that like haven't heard of this before, it is basically Adam West Batman meets Inglourious Bastards. Like that is a way to describe it.
Some Tarantino-esque violence in there, and crazy situations, and it is very dialogue heavy, but in a good way. Now, we can't talk the Gallows Man without talking about the importance of his sidekicks, the people that usually save his ass. So I won't tell them about them. I'll let you speak about them.
Yeah. So with the previous issues, there's been Gallows Man's Robin, essentially his sidekick, because Gallows Man is very much a parody of Golden Age heroes, and Batman is one of those influences. But his sidekick is named Newsboy, and it's a 11-year-old boy dressed in an executioner outfit, sort of thing.
Oh my gosh.
It's over the top, as well as like he is like, golly gee, Gallows Man, like what are we gonna do, like that sort of stuff. And they're all talking in that way, sort of thing. And then this character has shown up in the first 2 issues, but he's more just as like a part of the team that's just talking at the base. The base is called the Guillotine. Like it's basically Wayne Manor, but it's their Wayne Manor. It's called the Guillotine. And this character is Bertwald the Butler. He's kind of in issues 1 and 2. This issue, he actually he takes action. He's
right. He gets his own fight scene, which was really fun.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was something that like I wanted to have here. Yeah, Masked Butler, having him have like an over the top gruesome fight scene.
Right, and he's competent.
Been there. Oh yeah. He holds his own. Like he
goes
for the big guy.
And the Masked Butler seemed to be more competent than the Gallows man.
Yeah.
And they're kind of the ones solving how to get out of there along the way. Because there's I don't know how much you want to give away.
No, it's no problem.
You know, but we have obviously this is a big supervillain, so there's captivity scenes, there's rescue scenes, there's people in peril, there's cameos. I don't know if you want to mention the cameos in the alley, which you know, so but there's cameos of other characters in other books in here.
I'll say with that specifically, for anyone that has read Tales from Town City #1, as the Kickstarter I had a year ago, that one was an anthology in the Gallows Man world. It followed minor characters within the Gallows Man world that were introduced in issue 1 and 2 of Gallows Man, but they had their own story sort of thing. There's a couple characters from Tales from Town City that they have a little 4-page thing that goes on in the midst of issue 3. And I'll also say, like, it wasn't like because Tales from Town City was so popular that I threw them in there sort of thing. They were always in the script in that part. So it just kind of worked out that way.
Well, they're in the same universe, so you want them to connect a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, you know, if Spider-Man's swinging around Manhattan, he's going to see a few of his old chums there.
Sure.
Yeah.
So one of the parts I liked, it was a silly little part, but it made me smile, was when they get to the car and he's like, this heap of crap. And I like that you had it like it was just a covering that made it look like that. Like, it was so good
like, it's covered in bull crap or covered in bird crap, and tires are missing and it's rusted and all that stuff. And it's like, no, good sir, that's not the Hangmobile. And then rip the cover off. That's the Hangmobile. Like, gotcha. I wanted to have like a little fun little reveal of like the Batmobile essentially for Gallows Man sort of thing. And the big thing is like the little detail in it that I like is like the hood ornament. It's very small. The hood ornament is the noose essentially. Like just little tiny stuff like that where it's like it's not even like a giant noose like some of the Batmobiles where it's like a giant bat on the grill. It's just like a tiny little thing there where it's like, and
I did notice the noose too.
Regular car, then that sort of thing.
And throughout this issue, because we'll speak about it again. Your artist name, Heather.
Oh, Helen. Yeah,
Helen. Sorry, Helen. Seem to really be super comfortable with these characters now. Like there was a more seamless flow to the panels in this issue.
I agree. It
really seemed like these characters were extensions of her finally now as well. You know, where and even though the violence is very violent, it's also in a fun style. So it's kind of campy while being dead serious as well, but she really seemed to hit her stride with this issue.
I 100% agree.
And her art was great in the first two, but everything seemed to come together for her.
Oh yeah.
Her flow here.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like we both did a great job in issue 1 and 2, but as creators we can see like the progression, the growth. Like in us as creators, me as a writer, her as an artist, we see the progression or growth. It's and I'm not even like comparing it, saying it is one of these things, but it's like your favorite comic creator. You see like them start a series, like one of their first series, and it goes on like 30 issues or whatever it may be, to where you see the span of their art for like 5 years or so.
Yeah, and you see how comfortable they get with it.
Exactly, like comics is one thing. Manga is where I see it the most. Like Vagabond, it's one of my favorite mangas. the first like few volumes of it, fantastic art, but you do see as it goes on, you see him like really like getting in his stride. He's
Right.
progressing as an artist, even though he is a good artist from the get-go sort of thing.
Right, but it gets fine-tuned. Now, how important has
Yeah.
it been to this project with the Gallows Man to keep working with Helen over and over again? Like, does it create ease, and does it help fuel the creativity when you're doing this stuff? Because you could probably kind of picture what she's going to do, and she could, and she probably has a good idea when she reads your script what you're looking for now.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, because we started working together. The very first thing was a horror anthology story in Dismay Avenue #2.
Yeah.
And we were working on that 2019, 2020, around that time, I think around 2020. So we've been working together for over 4 years now. And with Gallows Man, it's 3 years we've been working together. So it is one of those things where like we have that stride to where like I send her the script sort of thing. She'll send like we'll do processes where it's like a rough layout, then
Right.
kind of finished pencils, then finished inks, then colors. But each step of the way, she'll send it, and then I'll like write in edits or whatever it may be, so that it gets like fine tuned by the time we get to coloring sort of thing. But we've done this so long, even at the beginning, it was this way. We've done this so long that like rarely am I sending edits. Like
Right, you
usually
guys have a good shorthand now.
Right.
it really is. Like the edits I send now are more like once the issue is completely done, like once we've went through all the edits and we have the issue done, then we do like look at the whole issue and see if any edits need to be made. And it's very tiny stuff. And it's usually dialogue changes. That's usually what it is like a few tweaks to dialogue just to make it work a little bit better. Art wise, like she knocks out of the park. I rarely have to send edits. She's on top of her game every time.
Now with that, I mean, this is a very dialogue heavy book. So she's pretty comfortable now working around your dialogue balloons and being able to make sure the characters are in frame and have your dialogue where it needs to be. So she's kind of grown accustomed to where you're placing it. I'm sure you guys have a little back and forth on that as well.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, like we definitely talk about it, and I always like I'll send edits and stuff, and sometimes like with an edit I'll say like, hey, maybe consider this, and now I'll send the edits. I'll say maybe consider this, possibly change this sort of thing. But at the end I'll always put like, but let me know your thoughts on it, because that's the thing is like I have my thought on it, but I want to see what you think about those changes. If you think those changes won't really work, or if you think like you look at those changes and you're like, I'll take that in consideration, but let's actually do this change instead.
Right.
Sometimes that happens where it's like, oh yeah, that's a good point. Let's do that change instead. So yeah, it's good collaboration sort of thing.
Good.
And you kept the same kind of aesthetic with the book, right? Where it has that classic comic book feel to it. You know, the way the panels are set up, the way the story is told, the way the art is. It has a retro feel to it, which lends to the authenticity of the type of genre that you're hitting with that, with the comedy, with the over the top violence, and the melding of the two. It really lends itself to like a more Silver Age feel.
Really?
Yeah. That's really what I like strove for with this book. Like whenever first wrote it, and whenever was like contacting Helen about working on the book and stuff, was like having this older feel, like with the art and everything, because that's ultimately what it comes down to. Is it's set in the 1940s. It's satirizing and parodying like some golden age comic elements, while throwing in some Silver Age stuff, like with your 60s Batman, like the Adam West goofiness of that sort of thing. But keeping that feel of like, oh, this kind of feels like a older comic. It looks like an older comic,
Right.
but it's very, very over the top, and it's also not like crapping on older comics either.
No, it's a loving homage to them.
Exactly. There's a difference between like satirizing / parodying, and like there's some people that say they satirize and parody something, but a lot of times it's like crapping on. Where it's like
This doesn't feel like that. This feels like an appreciation of it.
That's what I am going for with this.
Right.
Like I'm picking at little things here and there just as like a little joke. It's not like making fun of it. It's just like,
Right.
oh, it's like a little funny thing.
Like little things that take you back to when you read these before, right? It's just it stimulates something in your mind, and it helps you connect to a certain time period.
Exactly. And that's all I am trying to do with this. It's like you said, it's an homage. Like it's homage to like just a fun, interesting time of comics, and looking at some of those things, like picking at some of those things that like weren't really addressed that much, and satirizing it a little bit, but
Right.
not by any mean like bashing it, sort of thing.
Now, we should note though that when you get these books, they're not put together on the material of the old times. These books they have a good weight to them. The covers are great. These are a high quality production.
Yeah, this is I saw Matt in here earlier. He's someone that will know about like paperweight and stuff of comics, like the numbers. Like the cover is 80-pound gloss. The interiors are 60-pound interior, sort of thing. Where to put that into retrospective, Marvel books are maybe half that in terms of like the quality of paper. This is very much like, it's still a floppy, and also this isn't anyone's copy that's going out. This is my own copy, so if I'm bending it and stuff, this isn't your copy. And I treat everyone's copy not like my own. My own I'll bend and stuff, but everyone else's basically have white gloves on, sort of thing. But this one very much is a floppy.
Right. It's just got a higher quality card stock and
exactly
page. Yeah. Which you really do. I mean, trying to run it on like paper from back in the day, it's just I don't even know if you can do that anymore, because
the issue is, because I originally wanted to do that, like back in 2020 when I was making this a comic. I was like, this would be cool to do on newsprint and stuff.
Right.
What's so weird is me and Matt were actually talking about this a few days ago. Newsprint, it doesn't make sense, but newsprint is now a niche thing in printing, to where it costs more to print on newsprint, even though it should be a cheaper material. It's so weird.
It's because it's just not something anybody does anymore.
Exactly.
I mean,
it's where it's rare, basically.
It's become it's gonna become a niche thing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I was in printing for 10 years. I mean, and you could just see the progression going away from it. And now that everything is 90% digital, they're going to take, and anybody that does do print is going to take the highest quality paper. They're not going to put it on newsprint because they want to sell their product, and anybody that is of this period is going to want to see that, as opposed to a newsprint. But is that issue 1 you had in your hand, or is that issue 3?
Yes, this is issue 1, and this is issue 2, and these are the main covers. And I only have one set of variant covers. I won't be mean to people and do 10 variants or whatever. Like, there's only one variant cover. The prices are the same as well, to where it's like you can decide if you want cover A or cover B.
Yeah, can we look at it? Right? Yeah, let's go through it, because I mean, I don't have any issues, and if I want to get some, I need to know where to get them.
So here, he has already passed his goal. So congratulations! But
thank you, everyone that got us here. Like within 40 hours, like Gary mentioned at the top of the show. Like it's fantastic to see.
Let's play the trailer and then we'll get into the specifics here for you.
Sounds good.
Back and better than ever, it's the Gallows Man. Witness action, humor, grotesque violence, and everything in between as the Gallows Man and his team try to stop the Nazi threat that has infiltrated their city. My producers are saying it's Adam West Batman meets Inglorious Bastards. Whatever the hell that means. Well, what are you waiting for? Help support this series by backing the Gallows Man numbers 1 through 3 over on Kickstarter today. There, I did the ad. Will you let me go now? Okay, I'll say the stupid stuff. Baby, get back. Have you ever seen a dead body? No cap, these chicken nuggies be bussin', gang. Would you like to see a dead body? Morpheus, Dorpheus, Orpheus, go eat some walruses. Someone's getting a visit from the BB monster. There, I said it. I said it all. When will you let me go?
And then, of course, you have it all kind of in that 1940s radio style.
I know.
Yeah. I do that with all of the Gallows Man stuff. Like the voice actor there, Mr. Corley, he's on Fiverr. This is the 4th time I've worked with him because I did it for Gallows Man 1, Gallows Man 2, Tales from Town City number 1, Tales from Town City number 3, or Gallows Man number 3 here. He's fantastic. Like with each of these, I recommend people, you can go to my YouTube channel or look at all these different Kickstarters and stuff. Everyone, you can look at all these different trailers. They're very funny. And every time, like the last minute is always getting Mr. Corley to say very stupid stuff. He's okay with it as well. I don't like force him. I'm always like, are you? Yeah.
Right. He likes
like,
to ham it up.
In previous ones, we've had him say stuff like, me mow, moo mow, I am a cow. Or like, I had a wild DMT trip in the deserts of Nevada. Like just random stuff. It's always fun. Pee pee poo poo was also another one we got him to say.
Oh my God.
A little bit of everything.
So let me see this. So this is issue 1 of 3 of what will be a 4-issue miniseries. You already got a teaser cover for issue 4, but we'll get to that. Yeah. And again, let's mention this. This is more than 49 pages. Wasn't it 63?
Yeah, this one. So issue 1 and 2 are 52 plus pages. In terms of story, it's 49 pages in issue 1, 49 pages in issue 2. Issue 3 is like a chunky boy. It's a big one. It's 57 pages of story. The comic itself is over 60 pages, to where with each of these issues, they're much bigger than your standard issue, standard 20-page issue or whatever, to where you're basically getting like double-sized issue, or in the case with issue 3, like a mini staple-bound graphic novel, basically.
Okay, so what would you recommend to people to like? I want issues 1 through 3. I don't want to start with issue 3. I want to see issues 1 through 3.
Do you want physical copies or digital copies?
I want physical copies.
So physical copies, the best thing for that, if you want to issues 1 through 3, is it's the Gallows Man 1 through 3 catch-up bundle. That one is $35, and it comes with all 3 issues, as well as Tales from Town City number 1.
Yeah.
And they're all signed as well. And it also comes with a sticker set. It comes with PDFs of the comics. It comes with all of the PDF scripts, so people can read the scripts and learn. They can learn like, he actually sucks at writing. That's what I learned from this sort of thing. So a lot of with that specific one, I tried to make it as it goes higher and higher to be very much like great value sort of thing. Because
Yeah.
Especially if people are wanting to get in this for the first time, I want it to be one, affordable, compared to like the average Kickstarter.
Sure.
And that's what I try to go for here, because like any little profit, there's not a profit here. Austin, who's in the chat, he can attest to this. He does Kickstarters as well. There's not really a profit in doing Kickstarters, but any little profit there is, we put into buying more of the book so that we can have it for future catch-up tiers and future Kickstarters or local cons sort of thing. But yeah, we do it for this. I know everyone says it. I'm just reiterating what everyone says. Like, you're doing comics not for money, because there's not really much money in comics. You're doing it because you love it.
Right.
Yeah, it's a passion project.
100%.
And also, when you're doing a miniseries, you want to, especially when you're Kickstarter based, it's not like they can go to a local comic shop and get your back issue. So you got to have something available for people. So they're invested in your next one as well.
100%. And when I do a Kickstarter, I like to have it. Oh yeah, 100%. 100% the profits goes directly back to the business, like Austin said there. But yeah, whenever I'm doing a Kickstarter, my books are only available through the Kickstarter. Unless you live in this South area I live and frequent the small cons that I go to here and there, you're not going to be able to get it in person. I have it for the most part exclusively, definitely online. In terms of getting it online, you can only get it through the Kickstarter. And maybe I'm shooting myself in the foot or something, but a big part of that is I want it to feel like it's not the best comparison, but how a YouTuber has like a merch drop sometimes, where it's like, we have this t-shirt, it's only available for a week. You have a week to get it. After that, gone. Or you got to wait till the next drop a year from now or whatever. I like it to feel like an event sort of thing. Like, I love Boom Studios. I love the books they put out. And I've mentioned this on other shows and stuff before, but their thing with Berserker, way back when they did the Kickstarter for that, I am not a big fan of that sort of thing, where it's $15 or $18 for a book on Kickstarter. And it's one thing if the Kickstarter book is different. $15, $18, the Kickstarter book has like some sort of label or a number or something that makes it unique for the Kickstarter. My issue with Berserker, if I remember right, they did that. And then 3 to 4 months later, Berserker #1, same exact looking copy, in the comic shop for $3.99.
It's funny you say that. That's exactly like my wife came to me and said, "Hey, I did a Kickstarter with I backed a Kickstarter with Keanu Reeves, and because she loves Matt Kent. I mean, like, she loves his books. She's read.
Yeah.
I mean, I took her to Baltimore Comic-Con one time, and she picked up one of his books at his table and started reading it and said, "Yeah, I want all of these." That's what she said to me. "I want all of these." And of course he's like, "Yeah, sure, we can do that." So I,
no problems here.
and I'm not going to deny her that. I mean, for crying out loud, she's not a comic book person.
Right. She's taking an interest in a hobby you love.
Right. Yeah, she wanted to read it. So, I got them all for her. And so when she saw that he was doing a book, she said, "Oh, I just did a Kickstarter." But, the issue came out before she ever got her books, I think. I'm fairly certain I got the first copy of Berserker before she ever got her
which
book.
is kind of a black eye in that campaign.
And I was like, that's terrible. So
now,
and it's one thing if like they do something a little bit different for the Kickstarter issue, like I said, at least do like you can just get a silver Sharpie marker and do like 1 of 100 or something, at least something a little bit to differentiate it from the one that's going out to thousands of comic shops.
Sure.
that was just again, I love Boom Studios, and I love the creative team behind that book as well. Like, I
that
love
was
what
just
they
a
did
miss
with
for
that
them,
book.
huh?
It was just a business decision that kind of irked me, sort of thing.
Right.
Now let's go to your panel here. So this is the Masked Butler and Newsboy, and Newsboy's got that classic shucks look on him.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. It's very much because in that page, like they're escaping, they're running away. You hear Major Swaska over the intercom sort of stuff, like Gallows man and Newsboy are getting away with my bomb, like stop them, like that sort of thing. And Bertwald's like, we better hurry. He doesn't sound too happy, sort of thing. And Newsboy's like, you're right, Bert. And like before he finishes, like Bertwald turns because he was about to say his name in front of this guy, Mr. Johnson. Like, Masked Butler, sort of thing. It's just like little goofy, dumb little moments here and there like that. It's always fun to do. And yeah, you have here they're about to square up with some of the incoming Nazi cult members, sort of thing. You got Bertwald. He's like, I'll take the tall one. And for people, I highly recommend people to check out the book, whether digitally or physically, just so you can see how that plays out. This old butler, how he kicks butt. It's very, I mean, you'll see it in all the issues of like over the top violence, but
he's an old scrapper.
Like, this very much was like, oh crap. Like,
so for those, this is Helen.
Yes.
All right, now tell us. We talked about Helen. Tell us a little bit about Tomas Tikas here.
So Thomas, I love all his cover work. Like, he does the main covers for Gallows Man. Like, this is Gallows Man 1, Gallows Man 2. He does the main covers for them. He did the main cover for issue number 3, where it's the hangmobile running over a certain character from another story. And there's blood everywhere and stuff. He's a fantastic artist. He's from Greece, and I love every artist I work with. I'm not saying this makes Thomas above any of the artists I work with, but he does traditional pencils and inks. And for me, I love that.
Right.
Because I bought the original covers. Like, I have the issue 1, issue 2, issue 3, issue 4 covers for Gallows Man. And I don't think I'm ever going to part with them. It's too much attack. They're beautiful. Like the inks on that are like amazing of these covers and stuff. Like,
now, are the artists here inking and coloring their own stuff too?
Helen, she does the interior. She's penciling, inking, coloring, lettering, and also sometimes does promo stuff. Like, she did the bookmark for the stretch goal and stuff. So like, yeah, Helen is doing like a lot of stuff. It's not just like, I have a penciler, I have an inker, I have a colorist, I have a letterer. She's like doing it all. She's fantastic.
And I like that they're both self-taught. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is kind of cool.
And
then you have your variant cover artist. How'd you meet Rick Alves?
I've been following him. I don't know when I started following him on Instagram, but I was following him because some of his stuff was very much like Scotty Young's artwork. And I really like Scotty Young's artwork. Especially like his I Hate Fairyland stuff. Like, I want to see more Scotty Young interiors. I love his covers. Scotty Young does great interiors though. But I followed him through that. And then once I started making the Gallows Man, like back in 2020, I was like, I want to have like at least a cover B. And I reached out to him and I was like, hey, would you be interested? I'd love to hire you to commission you to do a cover for Gallows Man number 1, because I think it's a great difference in terms of the styles, because Thomas's is very much like it's not saying realistic, but it's like it's one art take sort of thing, and Rick's is, like I mentioned before, not saying he's Scotty, he's similar to Scotty Young. Rick has his own style,
right?
but
more
it is kind of that
stylized.
more cartoonish style to it, sort of thing. So I wanted to have like these very different things to where when someone gets a book, they're like, and they get to make the choice rather than the variant cover. It's like insane. But because the only reason I mentioned that is it's one thing if you have limited number of variant covers, of course you're going to price it differently than the regular variant or the main cover. That makes sense.
Right.
With these, I only have the one variant, and I print the same amount. So I put in the thing when people buy like one issue or something. I'm like, you at the end of the campaign, you get the choice of cover A or cover B, sort of thing. I just like that, and I like that for conventions as well. People can be like, because they'll walk up, they're like, "Oh, I like that book. Like, I'd love to get that book." Then I'll be like, "Which cover?" They're like, "Oh, it's so tough," but it's fun to do that.
And then we got your levels here, which I always think it's important to have digital bundles available or digital copies because you can't ship worldwide, and this gives a worldwide audience a chance to have the material to enjoy your content, and they can read it on any device they have.
And I always mention this to people, like, again, this might be shooting myself in the foot. I shoot myself in the foot a lot, but just it is what it is. But when it comes to international, I recommend people that live outside the US to get digital. Now, if you want physical, by all means get physical. Get the physical books and stuff. Like, by all means get that if you want it. But I recommend digital just because, like, us shipping to other countries, I'm not like it's built into the price. It's not like I'm like losing money or anything when someone internationally buys physically, but they are paying a lot for shipping.
Right.
And I feel bad for that.
A lot more.
Yeah, I feel bad for how much they're paying for shipping, to where it's like, if you want it physically, you really want it, go ahead and get it. But if you just want to read it and you live internationally, I do recommend digital, just so you're not like,
It opens up your content to a bigger audience.
Exactly. And you're not canceling like Netflix and Hulu and all this stuff just to read my book.
Buy one copy. Yeah.
Exactly.
No, I'm old and I want a physical copy in front of me.
Well, you're here right now, Jim, at level 2 with the $35 Gallows Man catch-up bundle.
Yeah, I did it. I just did it. I did it when we were talking. I was like, I'm doing this now because I'll forget later. Let me do it now. I've already did it. Give me my comics. I want my comics.
And then if you want all the covers, you got level 3 here.
Yeah, I almost did 55, but I won't use the digital. I mean, I'm not going to go in and get it's just not.
No, that's the thing is there's like tiers for like a little bit of everything, a little bit like every form of collector, every form of reader as well. Because I'm more of like a comic reader. I don't really like collect comics. Like, I'm more for reading, sort of thing.
Right. I'm fascinated with this $80.
Yeah, that's what I was highlighting it, because I wanted to ask you about this. Was there a big demand for script consultation through your audience?
I've done at this point 2. There have been like people have backed this before, but sometimes like people they don't reach back out like over a year to do the script consultation. But I've done 2 script consultations, and like the people loved it. And it's one of those things with this Zoom script consultation. It's not like, okay, 2 hours starts and now I'm just going to read your script for 2 hours. I'm just going to read it. And you're just going to look at me looking down for 2 hours. Right. No, you send the script ahead of time. I read through it. I make notes. I do all that sort of stuff. And then once we get into the Zoom call, we go over it. We go over it, as well as if you have any questions or if I have any questions, we discuss it. And it says 2 hour. It says 2 hour script consultation, but like it can go over. It has gone over before, and that's no problem. I just want to help someone get their story or whatever it may be just right. And not saying like I'm like rewriting your story, by no means. I'm just like it says, I'm giving consultation. You can
Right.
take it or leave it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And Matthew, that's the $80 bundle. Next year he's gonna call
Yes.
it the foot long bundle.
Yeah, Matt, we need you to drop 80 bones and get
Right.
the consultation.
You get the ketchup bundle. And then
you with that one, like the oh crap, my earbuds glitching out. There we go. It got robotic. Okay, I hear you guys now.
there you go.
But yeah, with that one, that specific one, it has the script consultation, but also has like all 4 issues of the comics, all like Gallows Man 1 through 3, Tales from Town City #1, as well as all the variant copies of those, all
Right.
signed, including a bunch of sticker sets, PDFs. Like it's like a laundry list of stuff you get, sort of thing.
Right. And then right here, Matthew, you can just call this the whole chili dog bundle. And this is the double chili dog bundle. But original art
It's
bundle.
loaded.
So talk a little bit about so you had the artist send you like how many of these are available? Like how much original art is available for backers?
I commissioned Thomas. Thomas did these original pieces. Main cover artist of the series. There's 2. There's only 2 available here. The very first one, and I have it here, so people, it's not like, oh, like where is it at? Is it protected? Whatever it may be. Good Mylar archive sleeve sort of thing. Like I collect original art, so I handle with care, sort of thing. But he did both of those pieces. They're on 8 1/4 by 11 3/4, kind of a thicker Bristol paper.
Sure.
It's almost cardstock. It's very
Yeah.
close to cardstock.
Let's make
But
it
this is an
big so you can
example.
show that off. There you go.
Yeah, this is an
There you
example.
go.
My light is going to glare on the Mylar, but this one is Gallows Man and Newsboy standing in front of Town City, basically, and they're both sporting a I Heart Town City shirt. And the heart is a noose.
A noose.
It has that glare, but I promise, like I'm looking at it now, it's beautiful white and black. Like
Right.
Thomas, like I mentioned before, I got the original cover art stuff. I'm never going to let that go.
Yeah.
But he does amazing work, and it also comes with the preliminary sketch, and that's a separate piece of paper that I put in here, but the preliminary sketch as well, and Thomas also signed it. It's right there.
Nice.
And then the one that was like kind of tough for me to let go, but at the end of the day, I have the cover, so I settled on that. I got the covers. It's all good. This one, it's Gallows Man and Newsboy standing at a guillotine, about to enact their brand of justice.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Yeah, like Thomas does.
I mean, it's not brutal
crazy
enough that he's about to
details.
get his head cut off. He's got to put his foot on his
Put on
neck.
his neck.
Yeah. And all while they're smiling and all
Yeah.
jovial, very much like how the comic would be, sort of thing. And you have the preliminary sketch. Again, that's a separate sheet of paper slipped into the back.
And and those 2 heroes, their violence doesn't bother them because someone's
No.
wrongfully killed in issue 3, and he's like, "Well, I don't know that guy."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I don't know that guy.
it's like that's not Mr. Johnson. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not.
sucks for him.
It seems like it kind of phases him, but at the end of the day, it's like, well, it's not Mr. Johnson.
Right. It doesn't
Right.
matter.
It could be worse.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Let's hold on a second. Let's share this again,
That's funny.
and we'll finish going through it here. So of course we saw the 2 pieces.
Oh,
We
I
got the
also want to
stretch goals.
mention, I always forget with the art bundle, you get that original piece, like the original art here, but you also get, like, again, a laundry list of stuff. You get like
Right.
all the books, all the variant covers, all signed, all sticker sets, all PDFs of scripts. Like it's like 20 plus items, and the big one is the original art itself, sort of thing.
Nice. So there we go. Now, how long is this? Is your campaign going for?
I'm sorry, say that again.
How long is your campaign for?
Since September 10th, we launched noon of September 10th at Central Time, and we're going to October 11th. So people have a month to back. You got a month to back, and like I mentioned before, these aren't available anywhere else online. If you live near Navarre, Florida, maybe you can get a copy that way at a convention sort of thing. And also, I'll mention, if you live in Central Florida or whatever, Navarre is not Miami. It's not Orlando. Florida is like 3 separate states, basically. I live in the boring part. I live in North Florida. So not a lot going on there. So not a lot of conventions. So really the way to get it, because it's not available anywhere else online, is through the Kickstarter sort of thing.
Now, fun little poster here.
Yes.
And that's kind of the I Hate Fairyland style.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's very much like that.
That's the cover, the issue 3 cover done by Rick, the cover B. And it was so good that I was like, can I just like do this as like a poster as well? Because like it was a wraparound cover. And I was like, I'd love to just see it as a poster as well. And so yeah, it's going to look great. Like I hope we reach that stretch goal. Yeah, it's beautiful. Rick, thank you, Rick.
You got the bookmark set, stickers.
Yeah. With those, every 25 backers we get, I do a backer / bookmark giveaway at the end of the campaign, where I put in a random wheel generator, and someone will get one of these sets, and they get to choose. Like I'll say, you won, and then which of these sets would you like, sort of thing. So every 25, there's a new entry sort of thing. So there's more and more opportunities every 25 backers we get.
So you're at 86 right now, right? That's what it said. It says right there, 86.
Oh, that's how many I've backed. How many Kickstarters I've backed.
Oh, okay. Let's 86. See. I'm gonna look.
So this is from issue 1.
You have 32.
Oh, awesome.
32 and 28 days to go.
Perfect. Yeah, and if people like,
come on, people, I want one of them sticker sets. I want to win one.
if you've heard me talk about the book, or you saw the trailer, but you want to see the interiors and stuff like Gary is showing here, go to the Kickstarter page. There's 6 preview pages of issue 3, 7 preview pages of issue 1, like Gary's showing here. So you get a good feel of the book. Like you're getting a lot of preview pages. You can read through them, see if it's something you like, if it's something you don't like. It's enough preview pages for you to make that decision, sort of thing.
I really liked it. I like the car cover. I think the car cover is just phenomenal.
Thank you. Yeah, Thomas,
and the fact it's probably like he did run over somebody.
Now, it didn't show it on the Kickstarter, but when you're reading the comic, there is an issue 4 teaser cover letting you know issue 4 is in the works.
Right.
There is.
Right.
Now, and that'll complete this arc, right?
Yeah, it'll be the end of this mini series. Not saying it'll be the end of the Gallows Man, because I have one possible thing. Thank you, Cliff. I have one possible thing that I'll do in the future in terms of a Gallows Man sequel miniseries sort of thing. But there will be one more issue. Issue 4 will be the end of this miniseries. But there's still other stuff like Tales from Town City. I still want to do 2 or 3 more issues of that. As well as like Hypno Ray and Rusty Hook in Tales from Town City #1. I want to do a mini series with them. I had a really good idea for them where I want to do a 3 or 4 issue miniseries sort of thing. So even if Gallows Man, this miniseries ends, this world will still go on in some way.
Right. And what about your other series, Dismay Comics, with the horror?
Yeah.
The horror.
Yeah, that's also another thing. People see all my comedy stuff, but I also have like very creepy psychological horror stuff. Dismay Avenue #1. This is the main cover for it. It's a movie date night that kind of goes wrong. The first 15 to 16 pages, it's a 40-page story. First 15, 16 pages are like an actual date that I had back in college. And then the rest is like, what if it turned into this psychological horror sort of thing?
Nice.
So it's a lot
what
of
if
fun.
she was a zombie?
Right. The only thing he doesn't tell you in it is where he buried the body.
Yeah.
it gets crazy, and this is the variant for that comic. And Dismay Avenue #2.
That was my favorite cover right there.
I love the cover. I love this cover because one, I just love the cover, but also at conventions, this is like eye catching.
Yeah.
Like on the table,
it is
like,
the red.
Oh, snap! Like I absolutely love Kaz's illustration here. He did the issue 1 as well. So he's phenomenal. That's issue 2. There's 4 stories in this, and they range in art style as well. You have very much like, I always got to show this page off whenever I bring this book up because it might be one of my favorite pages in any of my comics. He does very much like Junji Ito-esque art. It's like beautiful manga styled art. Like, oh my gosh, that creature. My crappy laptop web camera doesn't do it justice, but believe me, people, this is like some beautiful, horrific stuff. There's also like dreamlike, surreal type art in this, like stuff like that. There's Dr.
And I thought the promotional image was good too, with the
the reaching out sort of thing.
Reaching through the abyss
and
with the
with
portal.
these, with the horror stuff, this is all available on this Kickstarter as well. If you go into the add-on section of this Kickstarter, people can pick up these books as well. Oh yeah, that's one thing that like, and it's nothing towards backers because I have issues with Kickstarter using the app. Definitely the app is always a problem. But the add-on section, they don't show it enough or advertise it enough. If you go in the add-on section, like after you click on whatever tier you want to back, this is for anyone, whatever tier you want to back, it then will redirect you to an add-on section. You can scroll through their stickers, bookmarks, as well as other books that I've done before. And people can always add that stuff. And these books are signed as well. So and
it is too bad that that's just not available like as a tab in there.
Yeah, that needs to be a tab because there's no way for me to, like, the add-on thing came on and I didn't really scroll all the way. I just thought it was about the stickers, and I was like, I'm okay with this. Not the stickers, the bookmark. I was okay not worrying about the bookmark, so I didn't go all the way through. I just said,
my big issue with it is like, especially the mobile version, or it's really the app. Like when you click on a mobile link, like the layout, it's good for the reward tiers, but it's just awful for add-ons. When I'm doing like desktop, it'll redirect you to add-ons pretty well. But that's one thing I hope Kickstarter can kind of like just edit some to where it's like, hey, the add-ons, I know it sounds very like, hey, look at this, but it needs to be more in people's faces after they look at the tiers sort of thing.
And especially something like that where you can pick up back issues really helps drive your sales, I would guess, you know?
Oh yeah, 100%. As well as like there's people that discover me each Kickstarter. So there's people that discover me through this Kickstarter where it's like, oh, like Gallows Man 1 through 3, like this funny Adam West Batman meets Inglourious Bastards satire golden age comedy. This is cool. Yeah. But then they also don't know like, hey, I also do like crazy, insane horror stuff as well. It's like, oh snap, I'd like to check that out. But yeah, I always try to have that stuff available in the add-on section. But Kickstarter, fix your mobile app.
There you go.
All right.
So Brandon, as we're hitting our hour mark and we're closing out, first I'd like to say congratulations on already being fully funded. So that's fantastic.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
So much more funding to go. If you guys haven't delved into these worlds, if you like a Silver Age feel to your books, where there's that kind of jovialness, but also mixed in with some modern day Tarantino-like violence. If you like that kind of mix, it has a very, very Silver Age feel to it. A lot of fun. But if you're into that sort of thing and you want to invest in that type of world, and you need to go check out this Kickstarter, do your research, find a tier that fits your budget, and definitely go back it.
What's a budget?
Right. But so, what kind of things would you like to tell people in closing here, Brandon? To invest in your world.
I'll first say thank you for everyone that has helped make this what it is. Like everyone that supported this Kickstarter, but also everyone that has supported me from the beginning. Gary, you're one of those guys. You're one of the first shows I was ever on. Like when I think of the first shows I was on that I reached out to, and you guys were like, yes, it's you, it's Big Herm, it's Manny, like you guys helped me do this. So first I want to say thank you to Gary. Thank you for everyone that's been there from the beginning helping, as well as everyone that discovered me later on and is helping and stuff. Thank you guys.
You got a new person here. And let's not forget too that people can catch you, and you're very heavily promoted on Comic Journey's channel as well.
Yeah.
Yes. I am also an insomniac. I stay up too late oftentimes, and CJ happens to have a stream going on at that time, so it's okay,
just like last night when you guys.
Yeah, I can do something with my time instead of just laying in bed thinking about sleeping but not actually sleeping, sort of thing.
Only give them one hello, damn it.
Yeah, one hello. We only do one hello here.
But Insomniac Nation has turned out big time too. We've had a lot of the Insomniac Nation in the chat. So they're, Insomniac Nation supports a lot of people. So big shout out to Insomniac Nation. Thank you to that whole group that just is very diligent, very caring, and they really do a good job of supporting everybody.
100%. And I do want to mention Tate just brought something up. This is a good little closer. One, back the Gallows Man. Again, it's only available on Kickstarter. It's only going to be available on Kickstarter. This is the way to get it. Check it out if you want to see my horror stuff. Very psychological horror, weird art as well. You can get that in the add-on section with Dismay Avenue. Kind of my love letter to Twilight Zone. I very much like that. But with what Tate said earlier, he said, mention project. And what he's talking about there, I can't mention too much, but me, Tate, CJ, Matt, Siren, and then another artist, Ben, we are making a book. It's almost done. We're making a book, and it's very much, I'll at least say this. The concept is very wild and weird in comics in general.
I would expect nothing less from Insomniac Nation.
Yeah, I was going to say.
If it wasn't, I would be disappointed.
I'd be like, what is this? This isn't real.
Well, it's very much one of those things where we all thought about it back when we came up with the idea months ago. I don't think we couldn't think of examples of where you've seen this in comics. I think it's going to be really great. I think it's going to be very experimental. It's just one of those things where I could tell you about the story. There's the story, and then there's also this concept that we have going with the artist, and I can't say too much. What I will say is look for a Kickstarter for that towards beginning of 2025.
All right. I'm excited now.
Nice.
You heard it here, folks. We got a little touch.
Now,
a little story of it.
All Brandon's links are in the description below. That's including his podcast, his YouTube channel, the Kickstarter, and his Instagram. So you guys can go click on any of those links and follow him on various platforms. Brandon does post updates often, so they're not dead accounts. They're active accounts. You guys will get the updates that you want. You'll learn about upcoming projects, and he shares about those projects as they're ongoing. So if you guys are invested in these worlds or you're looking for a fun world to get invested in, go check out those links. But first, go hit that Kickstarter link and go back to project. And Brandon, thanks for coming on, man. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, man. I had a blast, and it's not just like, oh, I had a blast talking about my comic. I think everyone has a blast talking about their own thing, but I had a blast talking with you guys. Like I've met Digger Jim last year. Had a great time getting to know him and talking more with you, Digger Jim, and Gary. It's always great to be on your show. You're always a beacon of positivity within this community. And it's fantastic. And what I will close out on, if you have not read Need, if no one has read it, or everyone has read Need, but if you're in the chat and you have not read Need yet, get you a copy. I have a signed copy.
Yes, me too.
Ooh, I got a signed copy.
Well, thank you guys.
It's really good as well. Like I've heard like some people they focus on the eroticism, and that is a big thing in this, but the story is really good as well. Gary does a great job with this novella. He blends the story as well as the eroticism in with it very nicely. Nothing feels like it just jumped to this eroticism.
Yeah, it's in there because it needs to be to propel the story.
Right.
The next new story has none of it
perfectly. Gary does it perfectly. He does that blend well. So definitely check out Need if you haven't yet.
Well, thank you guys. The link to that's in the description below too, so you can get it digitally or a physical copy. But it's not about me tonight; it's about Brandon. So congratulations! Thoroughly enjoyed. I read the issue and it went by like that. I was just having a lot of fun reading it, and like I said, Helen's art just really hit its stride in this issue, and it was always great. But there was a comfortability in it this time that really just flowed.
Right.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
So
number 4 will be out in like 20 minutes.
Right.
20 days. They'll be doing another Kickstarter in 20 days.
She's ready. She's just waiting on the script.
Right, right. She's just waiting for Brandon to get it together.
But thank you to everyone who turned out tonight. We appreciate everyone in the chat. And again, just a good congratulations on already being funded. But that doesn't mean the train stops here, guys. Tell your friends if you're a fan of this universe, get it out there, share it on your Instagram stories, help promote it. And as always, we're gonna go around here first, and because I almost forgot, Jim, what's coming up for you before we say our goodbyes?
Tomorrow I'm driving down to go see Namen guys. We might go live. I don't know. I'm going to talk to them. We're definitely going out for lunch. We might hit a couple comic shops. I'm driving. Don't worry. I'm driving. And maybe we'll come back and go live just to show what we got. I don't know. I'm going to leave it up to him to see what his strength level is, how much what he wants to do. But yeah, I need to check on him. He's my buddy, and I just want to make sure he's doing okay. And so we're going to do that. And then Sunday, I'm hoping to go out digging. So I'll, I've got some permissions. I got some permissions the other day. So I'm definitely going to dig somewhere, and that'll produce a video. I'm trying this
out there.
I'm trying this new thing where, like, it's going to take longer to put the video out because I'm going to do more editing. Maybe if I can figure out how to do it. So like if I find a penny from like 1955 or something, or 1940 or whatever, I want to be able to put up a comic that you could have bought in that period. I think that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if you had 12 cents, if you had another penny and a dime, you could get this book or
something
I don't know.
associated with that.
I'm playing with the idea. Yeah,
I like that idea.
So it either be something like that, or it'll be at the end when I do the wrap up and say, with all of this, you could have bought these issues back in this period of time. So
I really like that idea.
Your replica penny,
right? And Katie's already saying you better go live. I don't think you want to.
I don't want to
have the wrath of Katie against you.
All right, well, I'll put the pressure on him. So yeah, so that's that'll be fun.
For those of you who don't know of him, just one of the kindest people in our community, a really good guy. So And again, another Insomniac Nation guy too.
Oh my gosh,
Nomin's everywhere. He's fantastic. Now coming up for me tomorrow night, like I was promoting, it's going to be me, Gore Vidal Comics, who is just an absolute great guy to talk with. John's Comics with Kids, one of the best guys in our community. You guys already know John. And Robert from G-Spot, Robert Galvin. We are doing a stream on kindness. And at least for my part, it's going to be me talking about coming into the community, people that have helped in the community. And it's not a stream on kindness at the expense of pointing out who isn't kind. That's not a discussion. It's just about the kindness. So, everyone's already been told what we're talking about. So, but it's important with all the negativity going on in the community. I really wanted a stream that just focused on something good without having to slam someone else to do it.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. And of course, we're going to be doing that at 8. And also every Friday, Anachronic Comics stream. So make sure you guys are following Joe over at Anachronic Comics, who does just fantastic videos. Go check out his origin of Wonder Woman, which is great. His origin of Captain America. Go check out what Joe's doing over there. He streams every Friday night. I think if he's still in the chat, I think he has an espresso mail call tomorrow night, which you're going to want to watch as well, where you always see some Dynamite books from Dynamite guests. Every Tuesday, check out Circumstances with the FOC and Chill. And as for me, we're going to kick it over to Brandon. And Brandon, where are you promoting next? Whose shows are you going to be on?
Next, let me get the big calendar.
Oh, yes, there we go.
I got a giant calendar over here had to buy to help me.
That's a different stream. There we go. All right.
Okay, so next I'll be on Four Tales podcast.
Okay.
Couple comic creators. I found out about one of the guys through TikTok. He does amazing marketing for his books on TikTok. His name is Ace Blade Comics. People can check him out. But Four Tales podcast, I'll be on their stream at 7 p.m. tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central Time. So yeah, looking forward to it. I'm also doing another show, but I think that's a recorded show, so it'll come out later.
Right, and do you have one coming up with Big Herm?
Yes, that's here somewhere.
We'll be on next week on Thursday for In the Hot Seat. So Jim and I are going to ask him lots of questions. We'll most likely be joined by Fable, Station Fable. And we also have Biggie Shack next Tuesday doing an all wrestling 1011. So we got some fun stuff coming up. But I'm sorry, Big Herm?
Oh, Herm's, I'll be on October 6th. October 6th, I'll be on with Big Herm and with people that you guys know in the community and stuff. C-List Villains, I'll be on with them the 15th of this month.
All right.
9 p.m. stream.
What about Katie?
Katie, yes. Katie, we actually just talked about it today. October 3rd at 9 p.m. Central Time. Brian LCS, I'll be on his channel the 17th of this month at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I'm saying a lot of names now, and there's a lot I might be forgetting. If anyone wants to keep up with this, I always post at least the day of a stream I'm going to be on. So follow my stuff. You can see whose stream I'll be on or who I'm recording with. And I always at least if it's a pre-recorded thing, I'll always post it and say, "Hey, go check this out," sort of thing.
Right.
So a lot of stuff to look out for.
I know.
Right, and of course, we have fun doing this. But Katie over at K-Pop Junkie is the best at promoting Kickstarters. Guys, go follow her. If you're not subscribed to Katie, you're losing out, and that's your fault. Go sub her up. There's no reason not to be sub to her.
Absolutely.
But with that, thank you all for being here. And Jim, I appreciate it as always. Brandon, again, thank you. And to our chat. And as we like to end these things, we'll give a little keep it casual and we'll play our outro.